How to bid landscaping jobs. This video will walk you through step by step on exactly how to bid landscaping jobs for success. I've used this exact model for years and years. It's simple, it's proven, and it's very effective. I should note that this video is specifically for landscape jobs and construction jobs. This video is not for how to bid landscaping maintenance. Those are way different profit margins and way different man hours involved. There's so many people out there that's saying you're needing different formulas, different spreadsheets, different algorithms, and different computer programs. I've done this business for a long time successfully, and I completely disagree. In fact, I disagree so much, I will show you why I think some of these things can be a big mistake and help you underbid a lot of things, which is never good. My belief is that you should have really good profits or do nothing at all. A really wise businessman and a huge mentor to me once told me that you could sit on the couch and break even. You could be with your family and break even. So why would you bust your ass on a landscaping job just to break even? It doesn't make sense. Simply put, I'm saying don't run a nonprofit. You need to profit from the start. I've been in this landscape business game a long time, and I know from experience that if you're not profiting, you're going to burn out really quick. It's just wasted time and effort. There's many people out there that say you have to start somewhere, and sometimes you have to do work for free to get your foot in the door. I actually disagree. There's a lot of people out there that offer business cheap to people that are newer landscapers, saying do this work cheap and I'll get you more jobs down the road. I know this to be false pretty much every time. When someone's cheap, they're usually cheap all the way through, so don't fall for this trap either. I know from experience that if you don't profit from the start, you're going to lose energy and momentum. And the momentum is the biggest thing you have going for you when you're trying to start a business and when you're trying to grow a business. I truly believe it's far better to have a small, nimble business with super high profit margins than a huge business that has really low profit margins and a lot more headaches. So this is the business model we're going to follow with this bidding system. Enough about that, let's jump into how landscape jobs are priced. I think some quick advice I could give you that would be really valuable as well would be that you need profits to recover from things. You also need profits to grow. You need profits to buy good equipment. You need profits to attract and pay great employees. You need profits to fix your trucks. You need profits to save money. You need profits for fun and hobbies, and for many other reasons. Actually, what's funny is being really profitable helps you to serve your clients much better. It literally means you can afford to spend more time, you can afford to be patient on that job, you can afford to use the best materials, you can afford to have the best employees there, and you can afford to do extras for them too. Aim for 50% profit margins. This sounds complicated, but it's not. It basically means that you profit 50% in your own pockets of the total amount you bill your clients. For example, if you bill a client $100, it means that you get to keep $50 of that. Another example is that if you had a $1,000 job, it means that you get to keep $500 of it. That is pure profit that goes straight into your pocket after you've paid all your expenses, including labor, materials, gas, everything. All right, let's jump right into this. So this is our plan that we have. This was a plan created by me and my team. I removed everything that was unnecessary from the plan, and I gathered some totals. A lot of times when you get a plan, it'll show you a lot of square footage and it'll show you a scale, and you'll know exactly how to measure. If you don't know how to measure plans, I have a different video on that, and I think that'll help you a lot. So first I thought I'd give you a breakdown of the plan. Currently this is a new build and there is no landscaping there. It is basically a blank slate. This is all dirt, this entire thing. The only thing he has is an existing covered patio. The main thing he wants is a nice low maintenance yard. So I think we pretty much delivered that for him. So here we go. We're extending his patio, so he has a little bit more area for guests and a grill. And from there we're doing a concrete walkway, or a flagstone stepper walkway all the way to his front driveway through his side gate. That way it can make ease for him to walk through the gravel. We are also doing this nice little crusher fine walkway because he wants to put a fire pit here or something decorative eventually. It was overall a different color change to add a little bit of a difference and make this look a little bit more like a contrast and just a nicer yard. He didn't want anything expensive, but he did want a nice border. So we didn't build this to be a retaining wall, but we built it to be decorative kind of divider of blocks, just one block tall, with those little Lowe's Keystone blocks. We do have a synthetic lawn. This one will be a pet turf for his dogs. The sun will set in this location. So we do have a tree here for future shade. And we do have a few other things that are going to be really nice as far as plantings go. We have a bit of cobblestone here just to break up this whole vast sea of gray gravel. And we do have some plantings here that are evergreens to block the view from his neighbors in this direction. Things here flower at different times of the year, and it's a nice, simple, low-maintenance yard. Okay, so I also printed out a little 3D copy of this so you can understand a little bit better what's going on with this yard. You can see this is the existing home. This is his extension of patio, walkway leading past his side gate, a little bit of color differences, some nice plantings. We do have some landscape lights and this nice little border to separate the tan gravel from the gray and to add a nice planting area. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so starting out, if you are brand new to doing something like this and you're ready to rock and roll, the best thing I can do is tell you to gather all these totals and call a few other local landscapers who are kind of a 1 to 2 man operation and try and get prices. Try and get prices over the phone similar to this so you know that your prices are more or less in the ballpark range. I don't want you overestimating and I don't want you underestimating. So that's the best way to kind of cheat the system and try and use other people to at least tell you what's kind of kosher for your market. Also, when you're new, I recommend that you figure out a rate that you want to pay yourself. Ideally, it would be at least double to triple of what you were making your previous hourly job. The benefit to this is that if you happen to get injured or something happens in your life, you can at least pay someone else to do this work for you and you won't lose money. For everyone else, I'm guessing you have a team of at least a few people, 1 or 2 people or more. And what I want you to do is make sure that you figure out a daily rate. I want you to figure out a daily rate for your team. I have horrible handwriting, but bear with me. That includes all payroll, all tax matching, all work compensation, all insurances, and anything else, etc. So I'm going to break this down for you a little bit as a hypothetical showing you what happens if you have about 5 people. So I'm going to scoot this aside. We're going to say we have one employee who is making $20 per hour, let's say. Then let's say we have 2 people who are each making about $17 per hour. Then let's say we have, another 2 people that are a little bit newer to your company and they're kind of getting nestled in and they're at $15 per hour. These are just hypotheticals. So this one person during an 8-hour day is going to make $160. These 2 people, each, when you combine them, is about $272. These 2 people at this rate for 8 hours is about $240. As a total, you're looking at $672 for one day, and that's just labor. Okay, got that piece? Great. Now let's say the taxes on this, because a lot of employers, depending on the state you're in, you have to match taxes and pay other things on them. So on average on this 160, I'll plan to pay about $33. On this 270, I'll plan to pay about $57. And on this one, I'll plan to pay about $50. This is $140 in tax. Now, let's take a few other things. We also have our workman's comp. I'll say comp is, let's just say it's about $15. And then we have our insurance. Okay, insurance is going to take a little sec. So we're going to take our total monthly insurance bill. I'll take a total. So a total, let's say our total monthly, we're spending with trucks and everything about $2,000 per month. Well, there's about 20 days of working days average in a month. So we're going to divide that by 20 days. When we do that, when we divide 2,000 by 20, we end up with $100 per day. We want to deal with working days, not all the days in the month, because there's weekends and we're not charging for our weekends basically. So when you take this $100, this $15, this $672, and this, that's a grand total of $927. That's our total daily rate for our team. And as your team changes and as your team fluctuates, this is going to change. And you always need to be aware of this number right here. This number is very important. Okay, so now we know our total daily rate for our team. This is the most important number. Let's move on. I'm gonna grab a new paper for you guys. Okay, so what I do with a job like this is I like to break apart this job and give my clients everything in pieces. Let me zoom back and show you why. Let's say we give a customer a bid that has one number on it and it's $25,000, let's say. This customer is going to instantly be like, wow, what the heck, this is crazy. But if we give them a bid a better bid with something that's $5,000, $10,000, $10,000, $2.5K, and $2.5K. Oh, well, that's 30, but you get the point. So this in total, we're not going to mention it, but this in total is $25K. This is going to make a happy client because they can see the breakdown of every single cost itemized out, and it becomes much more difficult for them to argue on price with that because they can see exactly where all your costs are going. It also helps people who are trying to budget more and people who might do this in phases, or people who might want to do certain aspects of this themselves and hire you for certain things. Okay, so now that we got that covered, let's dive in. Here's our bid. I do this the old school way by paper. All of my jobs do this. For my average job, this only takes me about 5 to 10 minutes per job, even less if it's something really simple. So you'll see how fast this goes. But I'll walk you through it, and initially it'll go slower because I'm, of course, teaching you how. So let's dive in. First, I usually always start with the prep work. For me, I think it's always best because a lot of times your prep work and your demo are a cost that a lot of people don't look into, and that's a cost that can kind of jump up and sneak up on you. So, prep. This yard, the builder actually prepped all of this. Where this home is, in the county this home is, they actually make the builder prep this. So this is prepped. My prep is $0. If it was in there, the rest of the planning I'll show you will break that down. But for now, the prep is 0. Now the next thing I usually move on to is irrigation. Now the irrigation I do, this yard actually comes with irrigation in the front yard. Back out here, way out here, there's irrigation. All I have to do with my team, I've done a bunch of homes in this neighborhood. I know all I have to do is tie into this valve box that they have, add +1 valve, and basically loop a drip line all the way around. Okay, so I know from experience, and if not, you can kind of do some testing and figure this out slowly. but I know that I can make this one drip line installed in one day with one team and add everything with a valve box that I need. So we're going to jump in here to irrigation. All right, so we know that this is going to take one day. So that equals $927. Wow, my handwriting. $927. Now I know from experience that my parts are about $650. So to be honest, this number, I'm going to bring out my trusty calculator. A lot of people make fun of me that I use calculators, but I don't want to add those numbers up. I have better things for my brain to do. So 927 plus 650 is 1577. So that's my total cost. Got it? Okay, so now I know that on all of my work, I need at least 50% margins on everything. So that would mean that I basically just mimic this number. So I write down 1577 for me times 2. So we're looking at 3154. This is my irrigation price that I'm going to bill my client for. At least that I'm going to quote my client for. Okay, so next up, let's price out all these plants. Alrighty. Okay. So, actually I'm going to put it like this, just to make it easy. So for plants, I go through sizes biggest to smallest, and I'll show you why. So I can see we have one autumn purple ash here at a 2-inch tree. This is 2-inch. That's a pretty big caliper tree. I'll look through and there's no other 2-inch trees. So I'm gonna write down that I have one 2-inch tree, and those are usually $250 a piece. Got that? So now my next biggest size I see is a 15-gallon. I have 15s here, I have 15s here, and I have 15s here. So when I go and count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 15-gallon. Now I'm going to take my calculator. A lot of people make fun of me using a calculator, but I have way better things for my brain to work on. So I know that these 15-gallon plants, my cost are $115 on average. 115 times 5 equals 575. Okay. Now to clean things up a bit, I'm going to scratch through all the plants I have done, and I'm going to see what my lowest plant is in size from here. It's the 5 gallons. I'll just draw a circle next to all these 5 gallons. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus 5, so 15 plus 3. So let's say 13 plants. 13 5-gallon. And I know that these are $35 each on average. So 13 times 5, 65. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry. Okay, I have 13 times $35 per plant is $455. Okay, next up we have 1 gallons. We have this one and this one. So we have 2 plus 1, 3, 1 gal. These are $11 each, so that equals $33. Let's add all of this up. So we have 250 plus 575 plus 455 plus 33. This is 1313. That's my plant cost. All right, I'm going to add in here about $2, or about, not $2, $200 in soil. And I know that my team can install all of these plants and deliver them all in one day. That's an easy job for them. They can do that many plants. The more you do this, the more you realize what your teams can do per day. With everything with me is a per day cost. So when we go back through this, we won't need our 3D thing any longer. Okay. So I have a day of labor. So I'll just say 927 for one day. Got it. Now, basically I'm going to think, is there anything else that we need to do with that? Honestly, I'm going to have two trucks. I'm going to have my foreman's truck and one of my other trucks running. So I'm going to consider that by the time we deliver all this, that we're going to use about $120 in gas. So I can't think of anything else. We have the irrigation covered. We have the plants that we're now covered. So we're going to total that up. So we take 1313 plus 200 plus 927 plus 120. That's 2560. 2560. If I wanted a 50% margin, I would double that. Instead, with the plants, I'm going to realize that there's some warranty. So just because of that, I'm going to put 3K for me. Total cost and 3K for me. So these plants are going to be 50, 5, 60. So that's the plants. So we got the prep free, we got the irrigation for $31.54, we have the plants for $55.60. Now let's move on to the next part. For the next part, I'm going to do the concrete extension. Okay, this concrete extension is 20.5 feet by 8 feet. I don't price a lot of things by square foot, but my subcontractor that does the concrete for me, he does price everything by square foot, so I do. So we'll do 20.5 times 8. That's 164 square feet. So we have concrete is 164. Okay, my concrete guy, he charges me $8 per square foot for a gray broom finish concrete like that. Times 8 is 1312. So he's going to charge me 1312, and I'm going to make 1312 for me. So we got 26.24. Now I do know that in my market, this is kind of a cheap price actually. So I could very well get at least $3,000 for this, but for now, I'm going to just leave it at 26.24. I think that's pretty nice to basically make $1,300 for him coming for a partial day, basically for free. Okay, next up is the turf. We have the turf on here. So the turf is a little tricky because in reality, it's, or on the plan, it's 426 square feet. But I'm going to have to buy a piece of turf that is this big. Well, that's a horrible drawing. And then cut out all the edges to make that happen, if that makes sense. So I also have some waste. I still have to basically kind of charge for that waste, just so I know I don't lose my ass, basically. For the turf, I actually do have a turf subcontractor. He charges me a pretty good rate for turf, actually less than my guys do put it in, and he specializes in turf, so that's kind of nice. But here's the deal. He could just flake out one day and not have this, and I could have this turf that I need to install and I need to make money on. So instead, I'm going to measure this turf and figure out kind of what we're doing. I do know that my turf measurements are on one of these pages for you. Okay, so I know that this turf measurement is 30 by 15. Trusty calculator, 30 times 15 is 450. So I have 450 square feet. Now my turf, I know that the turf I'm using on that specific yard is $4 per square. Well, actually his turf is $350. $350 per foot. So I know that 450 times 450 times 3.5 is $1,575. Turf. Then I know that I'm going to have to rent a tamper for $250. Tamp. I know that I'm going to have to bring in crusher fines as a base course, and those are going to be about $400 by the time I have my team deliver them. Base. Then I have about $100 in nails. Then I also have to do this steel board border. That steel board is about $172. And then I know that my guys actually can install this whole thing in one day. So I'm going to add 1 day rate, and I'm going to think, what if something messes up with this and we have to redo this? So I'm actually going to charge a day and a half on this. I think that's going to be a smart way to go because this is one really long day. And instead, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm going to do 927 times 1.5, 1390. Okay, 1390. What else are we going to need? I actually don't have a turf broom, so I'm going to say broom it's $100 rental from a local place here. Then we have infill for $400. And that's it. So I'm going to add all this up. 1575 plus 250 plus 400 plus 100 plus 172 plus 1390 plus 100 plus 400. So we have 4387. Now, I think that's already a pretty big price, but I really like to make my 50% margins. So I'm going to add 4387 for me. I'm going to times this by 2. That equals 8774. So that's for the turf. Great. So we have our concrete, we have our turf, we have our plants, we have the prep work as 0, and we have the irrigation. We're almost there. Okay, so let's work on the gravel portion now. So this plan, you can see that we have tan gravel back here. We actually have totals. So the tan gravel is 638 square feet. The smoke crusher fines right here is 232. We have cobblestones here for 74. And we have the gray, the whole gray across the whole yard is 1387. Okay, so for me, this is all about matching up these different materials. The gray is $35 per ton. The tan is $72 per ton. The smoke is actually $35 as well per ton, and the cobble is $55 per ton. Okay. So you can call your local gravel place to figure out mulch or gravel thickness and how much you need for it. So let's break this down. All the gray is 1,387 square feet. So 1,387. And I'm going to put this in 2 inches thick for this particular job. 2 inches thick on gravel that size. I divide by 120. And I need 11.5 tons. Equals 11.5 times $35 per ton times 35. So it's 404 plus $100 delivery charge equals 504. Then we have my tan is 638. 638 divided by 120. 5.3, I'll say 5.5 times 72. 5.5 times 72. 396 plus delivery equals 496. Then I have the crusher is 232 divided by 2, that's 2 tons, times 35 is 70, plus the delivery equals 170. Then the cobblestone is different. Okay, so for the cobble, this one actually divides by 50 because we're doing it 4 inches thick. So we have 74 divided by 50. 1.48 equals 1.5 times 55. 1.5 times 55. So $82. And I'm going to just have my team go and pick it up, so I'm going to say $100. Next up, we have fabric. For this many square feet, that much square footage means my fabric, I know it's one big roll. My one big roll is $178. Next up, I also know that I have 70 linear feet of these. So I have 7, I'm going to say block, 70 feet equals, get my calculator, 70 times 0.65, because each block is about a foot and that's 0.65. So 70 times, oh no, not 0.65, sorry, 1.65. So $115 a block. I'll just round up and say 120. Okay, so for this project, that's pretty much all the materials, minus that little boulder there. There's a little boulder. I know one medium boulder equals $72. Everything seems about $72 today. Great. And I know from experience that my team can move this much gravel in about a day and a half, and by the time they lay this out really nice and put in this steel, that's pretty much 2 days. So I have 2 days. $927 times 2, that's $18.54. That's my labor. Now I'm gonna also add that steel board in too. That's about $100 in steel. It's okay to guess if you round up. I think that's always fine. So I'm gonna include these steppers as something additional on the gravel. But for now, we pretty much have the whole gravel pretty much priced up. So let's total this up. 504 plus 496 plus 170 plus 100 plus 178 plus 120 plus 72 plus 1854 plus 100. So $35.94. For me, $71.88. Done. That's my gravel price. $71.88. Okay, now the steppers. I know that might counted it out. That many steppers is $704. And my labor to put that in, surprisingly, those take a long time. So that's a whole day rate, especially with delivery. 704 924 is $16.28. So 1628 plus, that's kind of a bonus. I'm just gonna say 1K for me. So 2628 for the steppers. Now let's bring on another piece of paper. The only other thing that I think we have on here, to be honest, is the lighting. Now, I did the steel board edging totals, just to let you know, but here's the lighting. These little green dots I have on the plan so my team can see them easily, those are uplights. The red ones, or reddish orange ones, those ones are path lights. So those are the ones shine down, and yeah, so we still have a transformer, we still have a photocell, and actually that's at this location on the house. There's a plug right there for me. So let's dive in with that. So we're gonna go in here, lighting. Okay, so I know I measured this whole thing out. This lighting wire equals 250 line feet exactly, almost on the dot. So that's a perfect 250 foot roll. That equals $110. Now my timer, I took the total of each of these lights, and I know that each of these lights, so let's see, we have 5 and 10. So we have 15 lights. 15 lights times 6. The draw on them is 6 watts or 6 amps. I forget. It doesn't matter if you need to know that. But so I need 90. So I'm going to get a 120 watt timer. 120 timer is, that timer is about $89 at a Home Depot. He just wanted the Home Depot brand ones to keep it nice and simple and to kind of save on costs. So we have the wire, we have the timer. The timer does come with a photocell. Okay, now the fixtures. So the 5 uplights, you can look on Home Depot's website. Those are $36 each, and the 10 path lights, those are $42. So 5 times 36, I don't want to do that in my head. 5 times 36, 180. And 10 by 42 is 420. Now, I also know from experience, this is easily a one-day job for my team. I'm going to consider it a one-day job just to be safe. Labor, $927. This rate is to make sure I don't lose money, because I'm also including insurance. I'm also including numerous things in here. So just another quick reminder, 110 plus 89 plus 180 plus 420 plus 927, 1726. So I'm going to round up and just say 2K for me. That way, after some gasoline and maybe a couple testings and warranties, or maybe throwing in a bonus light in there, I'm going to basically think that that could happen for free pretty nice. So that's going to be $37.26 for lighting. So let's just break it down and figure out the total of this. I would send him, when I go to send him a proposal, here's a quick hack. Here's our prices, basically. So what I would do, here's all of our prices. Okay. I would go smallest to largest. So I would go on here and find out what is the smallest number. The smallest number is actually this concrete one. So I would do this number 1. And so basically, let me do a quick breakdown. You want to give something small and ramp up, and then something big. So these are the big ticket items, and these are the medium ticket items, and these are the small ones. Most people remember the beginning and the end those make the biggest impacts in a proposal and in first impressions and last impressions. It's just human nature, really. So what I try and do is find the number one, then I'll find the second cheapest, and that's these steps right here. So this is number two. I'm actually going to put this last. Okay, so we'll probably put that. I'll break this down for you. So we're going to list this. We're going to list the concrete first for the 26, 24. Then my next highest price, I'm going to say is the irrigation. So I'm going to say irrigation is a 31.54. That's done. Then my biggest ones are the turf, the gravel, and the plants. I'm going to basically go into my plants for the 55.60. So we got that. Next, I'm going to go up into my gravel. Well, actually, I'm going to go into my turf. You can see I'm ramping up. 87.70. Okay. Now we're going gravel. 71.88. So we got this covered, we got this covered, and we got this prep covered. Now, I think from here, we have everything except the lighting. And then the last steps, of course. So lighting, 37.26. And then we have our steps last. Steppers is 26.28. You can see my prices went from low right here, to medium, to high. It basically goes low to medium to high. That will help you get more jobs. So let's add it up and just see what this job is out of curiosity. So we have 26, 24 plus 31, 54 plus 5560 plus 8770 plus 7188 plus 3726 plus 2628. 33, 60. There we go. So this yard, this install, everything on here, this person's going to spend about $33,650. A lot of these are hypotheticals, just to show you where I get my numbers from, just to show you how you can get your numbers from. This is probably, whether you think it is or not, about your industry standard. For me, I can get about 35,000 for a yard like this all day, every day. This 33,000, as you can see by the number of breakdowns of days, you can see I have 1 day, 2, 3, so it's 3 days. We'll say 4 to watch over the concrete, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 working days. That's about 2 weeks. So there's 3365 or 33,650 in 2 weeks. This is not unrealistic. This is a big number. And yes, this is a lot of money to make in 2 weeks. This is why I'm in this business. If you're ever in doubt about what to charge, break it down rework all the numbers, do it over and over again, take your time, be really slow, price shop the best price, call other landscapers, see if that sounds right, do Googling to see what common square footage pricing is. I wouldn't tell you to go by square footage on most things, but at least you can see it as a range just to see if you're kind of on the right track and just to make sure mostly that you're not lowballing yourself. Okay, so let's do something else fun with this. So I'm gonna grab my calculator. We're at 33,650. I'm gonna divide that by 2 because I know I'm running pretty much 50% profit margins. That's 1,680, 16,825. In profit. Wow. In 2 weeks. You can see, or let's do this. Let's just divide that by 8 working days. That's $2,100 per day. $2,100 in my pocket after all my expenses per day. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money per day, especially pocket, especially putting in savings. And you want to know the fun part? This is for one job. If you have multiple teams or multiple subcontractors, you can do numerous jobs like these at any given time. Right now, at the time of this filming, I'm doing between 3 and 8 jobs at any given time. Are moving and going on through different processes like gliding, like gravel, like concrete. I have numerous concrete subcontractors going to do all this concrete on every single job before my team even gets there. I even have one subcontractor that just goes and does this irrigation loop on all these standard yards on every yard before my team even gets there. Then you start buying things in bulk. I'm getting this turf at a bulk price. I'm getting this gravel at a bulk price. You can see how this really starts to add up. I really hope this motivates you. I really hope this explains to you how this little tiny job could make me $16,000 in less than 2 weeks. This is absolutely achievable, and if I can do it, you guys can do it. Fun fact about me, I live in the second to poorest state in the USA. So if you're in the United States and you see me doing this, that means without a doubt you can do this. I started from somewhere too. If you follow my videos and follow my plans, this is absolutely possible. If you think that this is valuable, if you guys think that this info is valuable, wait till you see what my private coaching group does. That's a quick little insert to let you know that I can help you achieve this faster. I can show you the way and walk you through step by step exactly how to get these projects, exactly how to do these designs if you'd like, and exactly how to make this much money this fast. This is easily possible. This is just the beginning. So please go to my website, look up the free resources, please like and subscribe this video, and please, please, please talk to yourself about joining my coaching group for doing more profit like this. Next up, I thought it'd be really valuable if I provide you with a few tips of things not to do. Don't charge by square foot. A lot of people in this industry charge by square feet. What happens is you could have a set square foot rate, but that could be for a front yard, or it could happen in a backyard and be twice the distance. It could be up a hill, it could be on a slope, and things can vary a lot. So that's a good way for you to lose money. I think it can be a good base just to double check your numbers, but for now, don't assume to charge by square foot. If there's some intuition that a client is kind of crazy or kind of needy, really just a little bit different, someone that you're not getting along with or someone that seems abrasive or hard to please, just don't work for them. Life is too short. Don't lower your price as much. You can instead add a lot more value. So if someone asks for a discount, mention something else you'll include for free. That's usually the best way to go about things than lowering your profit rates. Referring to projects, don't talk about an end date. The reason being is that if you finish sooner, people will ask for discounts, and if you finish longer, people will be upset. Provide just general ballpark guidelines. Do not give one huge price for everything. Give numerous prices for each item. For me and my business, I'll give a price for lawn, I'll give a price for irrigation, I'll give a price for the trees, and so on and so forth. This is for two reasons. It's a lot easier for a client to digest numerous different numbers than one big number, and it's also a lot easier for clients to see where all the costs go, and it's less negotiating power for them, and it just is more profitable. People usually succeed more when they break things down, and people are much more apt to say yes. Don't guess on anything. I know this sounds crazy, but please don't guess on any numbers. This is where money gets lost. Quick side note, the busier you get, the higher your profit margins need to get to compensate for that demand. The slower you get, the lower your profit margins need to get. For me, they ramp up in the summer and ramp down in the winter, more or less by about 10%. If there's anything at all you need, please comment below or message me through Instagram. Don't let your nerves get the best of you. You are worth a lot. You need to value yourself like I value you. I know you can do this, so put in 50% profit margins and hit send. Do it for yourself, do it for your future. I have done this a long time. If you do this, you'll understand why. I've done this a long time. I'm just simply asking you to trust me. If you have a landscaping job or a construction job, make sure you have 50% margins and hit send. Another tip I can give is that you should hustle to get so much business that it doesn't matter when people say no. That's the whole goal of the game, to get the high-end clients and leave the cheap people to other landscapers. Or they can just do it themselves. Straight up, don't worry about the competition. There's always going to be someone cheaper than you, and it's a losing game. Don't assume that materials have remained the same price. This whole COVID thing has proven that materials can fluctuate a lot, and that's a good way for costs to be all over the place. You don't want to play that game. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button right now. Before I move on, that would mean a lot to me. It helps me keep my momentum, helps me keep creating these great videos for you guys. Okay, next up, I'm going to give you some tips on exactly what you should be doing. You should charge for gas, and you should charge for your driving time. You should provide as much detail on pricing as possible. On materials, on square footage, everything. It means more to your clients, it's much more clear for your clients, and it's less for things to get messed up later, especially when prices change or people make change orders. Basically with that, just remove all possible assumptions. If the prices you send get approved, please figure out a legal contract and have your customer sign it to help cover your ass. On your proposal, you can also have a bullet point item that says if it's not directly mentioned, it's not included. This helps people from adding on little things and saying, oh, I thought that was included. That's a number one thing to basically lower profit margins and for clients to get a ripoff on top of you. Clarity is always key, especially when bidding things. You want to make sure that there's as little assumptions as possible going into this. If there's any uncertainty on what the customer's wanting or exactly what materials are to be used or what prices certain things are for materials, I would call and make sure you gain certainty. Don't guess on things, make certain. When itemizing prices, you should list the smaller ticket items up front, then the medium priced ones towards the middle, then the highest priced items in the middle, then ramp down again and do the medium priced ones towards the end and another batch of lower ones towards the very, very end. People always remember the first things and the last things as the biggest impression. So I've noticed my conversion rates of people saying yes to my estimates have gone up quite a lot when I've ramped it up like that. You should call the client as soon as you send the proposal and tell them to check their inbox and just letting them know that everything is in there. You should also assume different warranty costs and what the likelihood of you warrantying whatever you're installing is, because that might affect your pricing as well. Okay, so I hope that whole breakdown of everything showed you exactly what to do, exactly what I do, and why we're all doing it. I hope you feel more confident, so give this all a try and let me know in the comments how it goes for you. I'm incredibly excited to hear all about your successes. If you'd like to see an example of my proposals, you can go on my website or you can message me, and that'll show you a direct copy of my proposals that are just fill in the blanks. You can fill in the highlighted blanks I've given you and send your estimate away. You can find that at landscapersacademy.com. It's under resources. Again, please like and subscribe this video. Please comment below on any other videos you'd like me to create. Happy to do this for you guys. Cheers to your success.